Hi boys and girls, I have a really special book today. This book is called Dear Polar Bear, and it's published by Scholastic, but it has little surprises along the way, and then at the end I have a special project for you. So let's take a look. Do you know what that is? It's kind of a map of the world. And it's written by Barry Ablett. Says, Polar Bear was unhappy. His igloo was so empty and cold. Brr. Polar Bear thought about his friend Koala, who lived in a forest full of trees and flowers. Maybe he could send something to brighten up Polar Bear's home. So Polar Bear sat down to write a letter. Postman Penguin came to collect it. Do you see Postman Penguin right there? A few days later, Postman Penguin reached the forest. Koala was very pleased to have a letter from his friend. I know how to make Polar Bear feel better, he smiled, scooting up higher into the treetops and shows a special gift. It says, To Koala, Gumtree Forest, Australia. Let's see what his letter says. His letter says, Dear Koala, can you help me? My little igloo is all snow and ice, and there's nothing else to look at. Could you please send me a colorful flower to brighten up my home? Thank you, Bear. Polar Bear opened Koala's package as soon as it arrived. How exciting, he giggled as he read the letter inside. Let's see. It says, Dear Polar Bear, I'm sorry to hear your home is very empty. I've sent you 2 surprises to brighten it up. Keep the caterpillars in a jar and plant the seeds as soon as you can. Goodbye, Koala. Then he planted the seeds and made a nice new home for the caterpillars. Polar Bear's tummy rumbled. He wanted something yummy to eat, but all his food was icy and cold. I know, Polar Bear thought. I'll write to Sun Bear in the rainforest. Maybe he can send me something tasty to eat. And he sat down to write another letter. And there's the Sun Bear. Sun Bear was eating some delicious honey when Postman Penguin arrived. Let's see what his letter says. Dear Sun Bear, I am very fed up. As you know, all my food is icy cold. It would be nice to have something delicious to eat now and then. Do you think you could send me something? From Polar Bear. Icy cold food, poor Polar Bear, Sun Bear slurped. I'll send him a special treat. The next morning, Polar Bear had a surprise from Sun Bear. Let's open it up and see what it is. Dear Polar Bear, try some of my yummy honey. It is the best in the rainforest. I've also sent you some honeybees so you can have a lifetime supply. Enjoy. It says, Sun Bear, P.S. Sorry about the sticky letter. My paws were covered in honey when I wrote this. Polar Bear's tummy was full now, but he wished his igloo was a little bit warmer. I wonder how Panda keeps warm, Polar Bear said to himself, and he sat down to write another letter. What do you think he's going to ask Polar Bear, boys and girls? When Postman Penguin arrived, Panda was taking a nap. A letter from Polar Bear, Panda yawned. Let's see what he wants. It says, Dear Panda, it is very cold here in the winter. Even with my furry coat, I can't seem to keep warm. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? From Polar Bear. And he wants something to keep him warm? I've got just what he needs. What do you think Panda is going to send him? Thank you, Panda, Polar Bear laughed as he opened his present. Let's open it and see. What are they? Do you know? It says, Dear Polar Bear, I'm sorry you are cold. I hate the cold. Inside the box are some silkworms. Feed them these leaves. Yawn. Panda. But he frowned, looking at the strange creatures. How will these keep me warm? Oh, what am I to do? He sighed, feeling lonely. I wish my friends weren't so far away. Then Panda Bear thought of Brown Bear. She always knows what to do. And he sat down to write another letter. The next day, Postman Penguin found Brown Bear and her cubs playing by the river. It says, to Brown Bear, Snowy Mountain River, Alaska. Dear Brown Bear, it is fun to write letters to all my friends, but sometimes I wish I had a friend nearby. I do feel very lonely. What do you think I should do? From Polar Bear. Oh dear, said Brown Bear. I think Polar Bear sounds very lonely. I think he needs a pet to cheer him up. A few days later, Polar Bear opened a package from Brown Bear and looked inside. It says, to Polar Bear, Icy Igloo, North Pole, the Arctic. Let's see what's inside. It says, my dear Polar Bear, I'm sorry to hear you are feeling lonely. My two babies here keep me busy, so I've sent you a pet to look after. Make sure he has plenty of food and clean water. Love, Brown Bear and cubs. Look, what was the pet? He stared at the fish, and then the fish stared back. I'll call you Bubbles, Polar Bear smiled. And I'll get you some fresh water for your bowl. But it was very dark outside. I wish I could see better, Polar Bear squinted. My friend Speckled Bear can see in the dark. Maybe he can help me. Wait, Postman Penguin, I've got one more letter for you. Speckled Bear was finishing his dinner. Here's Speckled Bear. When he saw Postman Penguin climbing over the rocks. A letter from Polar Bear, smiled Speckled Bear. Let's see what he says. It says, to Speckled Bear, Amazon Rainforest, Peru. His letter says, Dear Speckled Bear, my igloo is becoming nice and cozy. The only problem is that it can be very dark, especially in the winter. If I light a fire, my home will melt. What can I do? Polar Bear. A letter from Polar Bear. He can't see in the dark? I have just the present for him. Wow, look at that. Polar Bear gleefully tore open the package. His igloo sparkled with light. Let's see what's inside the package. It says, to Polar Bear, Icy Igloo, North Pole. Do you know what those are? What those are? I think they're called glowworms. Now everything is much better. Polar Bear laughed, and he rushed to write his friends to thank them for all the wonderful presents. Postman Penguin came to collect the letter. It says, thank you for your letter. I hope you enjoy your present. Glowworms are excellent lights. Just set them free in your home and it won't be dark anymore. From Speckled Bear. Polar Bear waited and waited, but no letters came back. I think my friends have forgotten about me, Bubbles, he sniffed. And then suddenly there was a knock. There was a on the door. Who do you think it is? Oh, look. Postman Penguin has a big box. Is that for me? Polar Bear gasped. What on earth could be inside? And he ran over to open the box. Surprise! His friends shouted, "We've all come to visit you. This is the best present ever," Polar Bear laughed. "And you are the best friends in the whole world. Thank you." And that is the end of our story, boys and girls. Today, I want you to think about writing a letter to somebody that you miss and maybe drawing them a picture. That's your job for today. Have a great one. Bye.